Damn. Legitimately, I'm salty. Salty over this. I'm salty over this whole resolution. I'm salty over this entire decision by the author because it looks like this is the ending point for him. This looks like the ending point for Kokushibo. I mean, there could be some form of like last second change from this event, literally at the start of the next chapter, but I'm doubting it. I'm very much doubting it. And as the chapter starts out, you see a picture of Yoriichi as, he's looking like a sad boy, and his brother, he's pretty much hates him for the fact that he just has all these things blessed upon him, and all these natural talents and all these things about him that just make him so superior to Kokushibo in swordsmanship and the way he treats other people. And Kokushibo just he couldn't stand it. He couldn't have that. He's really upset about it, and after a point, they went and got a messenger sent over to the temple to bring him back. I'm guessing had something to do with the father of the house finding out about Kokushibo's his brother being a bit better than him by honestly a lot, and because of that. They're like, yeah, let's go get him back. He wasn't there when they found him. He just disappeared without a trace. That no one knew what exactly happened. And for 10 years, here's Kokushibo just living a life. He got married, he had kids, he became a samurai, he was out doing his thing. And one day, encountering a demon, you have, who just slaughtered pretty much his whole crew, even broke Kokushibo's sword. He's just got plain swords, and he can't do anything really about it. He doesn't have some special, that like sunlight metal that's used to cut through demon flesh. And then just in that moment, you have Yoriichi just show up, effortlessly cut down this demon. I wish there was some form of note of it, like maybe just like showing right beforehand that it was like upper moon number something, just to give it that little hype bit, the fact that he just ran through it like nothing, like completely just destroyed him. And there was one thing I did like, is in this panel, you get the full moon, because you find out that with Kokushibo, he could never use sun breath. He could never use the sun breathing. I always assumed that he had sun breathing when he became a demon. He merged it with like his blood arts, and somehow that became moon breathing. But he said that he never was able to use sun breathing, no matter what he did. But I like that his journey kind of like started at a point of of that moon. You have his brother, who's a sun breath user, showing up during the moon, almost eclipsing the events in his whole life. And at the same time, just kind of like giving that contrast between the two, because one is of the sun, one is of the moon. You have the light and the dark, and I just thought it was a really nice way to kind of like lay out a little bit of subtlety between the characters and their aspects. But here he is. Here's Kokushibo, just mad. He's pissed off now. His brother saved him. He's salty that he's mastered the sword. He's become a demon slayer. And he's become just this unmatched person of the blade. And even in this moment, he ended up apologizing to Kokushibo because the fact that he showed up too late, and all his crew died, and he was only able to save the one guy himself. And he seemed bummed about it, and he's obviously like so powerful, but it was the fact that he wasn't able to save some people that really got to him. So I'm guessing though that being why he picked the sword back up, is because these demons were out doing their thing, causing problems, killing people, and he wanted to, do what he could to put an end to it, because with the demons, they're a little bit more, like, vicious and of a problem, seemingly. There seems to be some good-ish demons, but, we know that the mass portion of them are bad. And, he's talking about exactly how he responded to this, like his brother, that, like, he wanted to be as strong as him, no matter what happened. He wanted to raise his sword level to him at all costs. So he ended up abandoning his family and to become a demon slayer just like him. And I mean, that'll make sense of like why there's a bloodline further on, because here you have someone, you got what looks like a member of the Sun Breath users, like talking to Tanjiro's dad, and obviously Tanjiro's got the same mark. Maybe a descendant of him. Like, that'd be really cool if, like, the family that he abandoned eventually, comes back and is the one that ends up killing Muzan. I was really hoping for, a battle between Tanjiro and Kokushibo, but it doesn't look like it's possible. Looks like he's dead. There could be some shenanigans where it turns out he's not dead or something, but as he is right now, dude's gone. Dude's just dusted. But he's talking about, his brother was fully fine teaching anybody, breathing techniques, but depending on the person, how they fought and their own style, he helped them develop their breaths out of his base teaching. So in that driving down pathways of creating all these new breaths, even get like you see one of the members of Rengoku's family, so obviously becoming the fire breath, and all these different styles. And even Kokushibo got his own mark as well. He's able to get his own power. But no matter what he did, he's like, I could never use sun breathing, and he later like derived it into moon breathing. And to be perfectly honest, sun breathing is powerful. Like obviously you have this superheated sword, but I legitimately think moon breathing is like more dangerous. Like the thing about moon breathing in comparison, it's like with sun breathing, there's obviously some powerful techniques. You got some danger there. Obviously, power just concentrated in that heat of the blade. But the moon breathing has such. It would be so hard to fight a moon breath user, just given the weird style of his techniques. Because out of everybody, for sure, moon breathing, like with Kokushibo, it has to be the hardest one to fight just off of positioning. Like you just have like the ones where it's like, okay, the blade he slashes and it goes in like a single no straightforward, like, oh yeah, slash it, and there's just gonna be like some like razor wind, like big slash attack coming at you. But then there's also like the crescent moons arcing around it. You got the ones where you have crescent moons constantly like getting bigger and then getting smaller, retracting, spinning, pretty much as just like alternate size changing like buzzsaws. Legitimately, I think his breath is better. I mean, we haven't seen the full extent of sun breathing, but as of right now, it just doesn't hold up to moon breathing. Maybe it ends up being like heavier for his brother specifically, but it's like you've developed your own, and the only difference between them is your brother is just a straight stronger swordsman. I think though Yoriichi was a better swordsman and a better demon slayer, I think Kokushibo's breath was superior. And just the way that it would be too hard to like fight against it in reality because of the huge amount of like massive amount of techniques it has and the horribly complicated like level of positioning you would have to be in order to fight him. Because you're not only fighting him, you have to keep in mind like where his techniques are, try and figure out their paths and motions like mid-fight, while fighting this dude who not only can make his sword bigger to enhance his techniques, but also can make more swords come out of his own body. Like I think he's way more dangerous in the way that he developed, and his breath I do find superior. I mean, again, it can change. We haven't seen a ton of sun breathing. We could end up getting some crazier techniques from Tanjiro. I don't know. Maybe like some large AoE like area nukes or something. But then it shows him like meeting Muzan. Muzan's offering him immortality so he can master the sword and become unparalleled. And that was when he just offers himself, becomes a demon to work for Muzan. But he says that no matter what, even after that point, even becoming a demon, neither he or Muzan were able to, deal with Yoriichi. Yoriichi was just this unparalleled paragon of swordsmanship and as a demon slayer. And it's really sad because you saw the part where he just out of frustration slashed his brother in half, and the thing on him that you see like cut through, it's like this little charm bag, and inside was the wooden flute that Kokushibo gave it to when he was a kid. So for more than 60 years, more than that, because he said he hadn't seen him at 60, and then there's the 10 on top. So more than 70 years, he had been cherishing, his brother's gift to him. It made him happy. And that just was really bummed me out because it's not just like, oh yeah, this breaking between the brothers. It was this older brother who straight just didn't have any care for his younger brother, just seemed like a jerk. And he did shed tears at the sight of it, but I mean, for decades you had all this malice against him, and yet it's obvious that no matter what happened, Kokushibo, him disliking Yoriichi, but no matter what, Yoriichi loved his brother. So it's just a shame. Go message your family members. Tell them something nice. This is one of those chapters you read, and then you see that kind of depressing moments. You see like Kokushibo, the way he treated his brother, the way he abandoned his family, and you just at the end of it, when you're like done thinking about like the impact on the story, the character himself, like where this is gonna go, you end up being like, I should message my family and see how they're doing because just you don't want to go down that sad line that he did. But here he is, like no matter what he did, like he said that his brother, like sun breathing, like he was the moon. He was always chasing after him, and no matter what he did, he never burned as bright. He never like shone as like heavily as he was, and it was kind of bumming, like I said. And I this is the thing that kind of like also really got me is with Kokushibo. Like I said, I think his breath was superior in a lot of ways, and so he was always trying to one up his brother, trying to be a better person instead of be not even a better person, just trying to be a better swordsman. Instead of being like what he's developed, what he's created, and what he's done, he was much more like frustrated of like what his brother could do that he couldn't. I mean, like his brother. I mean, who knows what he could do? Maybe he could learn moon breathing, but dude, you invented it, so it's like why don't take pride in what you did? It's impressive. But no matter what, he just held through it to the end. He never seemed to really be able to get over it because it does show him, and on his crumbling, dusting like clothes and body is the flute that his brother had. It was snapped in two pieces, cut through, and keeping them within him. And again, it's just a rough time. It sucks that Kokushibo is gone because I just noticed that the translation guy and the lettering guy in this are both they hang out. But yeah, it's really depressing to know that this dude, in the final moments of who he was, just he had still a little bit of grasp on his brother, but he never got over the idea of someone someone could be better than him. He just could not accept that fact. And it was because of that and his underestimation of people below him that led to his death. If he had taken them more seriously and just, decided to deal with them properly, then he'd still be alive right now. But other than that, comment below, tell me you thought about this. Again, it bums me because he was so much built better than Muzan, personally. I think he would have been a better main villain. Yeah, he could pull out some like last moment super regenerative like thing. If one of those like little flakes like turns back into a full him, or because Genya ate him, like maybe he can like come out of his body. And there's a lot of stuff that he could do, but as of right now, I'm just gonna assume he's gone. So there's that. Other than that, though, tell me in the comment section below what you thought about this. Like, would you prefer him as the main villain, like I did, or do you prefer Muzan because he's got a longer history in the series as the big villain? But I think Kokushiba just has like a better story. I think he's got a better kind of like relation as being like an opposing force to Tanjiro as the main character. I don't know. I really appreciate if you thumbs up the video, prefer the like button, and subscribe button, and check out my other videos. But that I appreciate it. Sorry, subscribe, and I thank you all for listening. Bye.